my hand, Mike. Just hang on to it.
Is that really how you shake hands?
I like the way you shake hands. All right.
This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. It sucks.
Welcome back to This List Sucks. I'm JB.
Not Mike. It's Friday again.
It is Friday. Welcome back. My favorite day of the week.
I know. This isn't any of that midweek bullshit.
Yeah, sorry about that. No. It's better than being late, like we said before.
Yeah. We strive to provide commentary early. But listen, there's no reason to bullshit. It's Friday night. Friday night's wonderful. It's a good Friday night.
Are you making a pun there?
I had fish tacos for dinner.
Did you?
That's how good this Friday was.
That sounds like, yeah, that's not a sacrifice.
No, none whatsoever. Not with those fucking fish tacos. They were delicious.
Where do they get them from?
Tilapia from Costco.
Oh, you made fish tacos.
Green egg in the backyard.
There you go.
Dude,
yeah. Sounds delicious.
Legit.
Super legit.
A
got a special guest. You go ahead. What were we going to say?
Wonderful special guest, right? So as we pimped last week, we like the next 4 weeks, probably 4 weeks.
Exciting.
I would even argue. Yeah. Huge programming with wonderful special guests, everybody from your dad to longtime listener, first time guest, Heather Barkley.
Welcome, Heather.
Welcome, Heather.
Thanks for being here tonight.
I'm excited. I'm starstruck.
Yeah. I could say the same to you. You're the keeper of the spreadsheet.
I know, the master of data when it comes to our podcast.
I know.
Which is wonderful.
I got to keep you honest.
Yeah.
At least a little bit. Anyway. Yeah. So, so Heather is this week. Next week is going to be.
Next week is Mr. I didn't know you were waiting for me.
Because you weren't looking
I thought you were doing a dramatic pause there. Next week is drum roll. Mr. Riley Rath coming in for next week's episode. Yes.
Yes. Riley. Can't wait to have you, buddy. And as I was telling you ahead, just shut the fuck up. As I was telling you ahead of time, I've been I haven't been cheating because I just had more time this week. So I've already been doing cold listens into next week. And
yeah, that's not cheating at all. That's just working ahead.
Super excited to talk with Riley about the Pixies.
About the records. The Pixies in particular.
Pixies in particular, but I mean there's bangers all through next week as well.
Hell
and
yeah.
Then coming up on the 16th, the mega quad pod.
The quad pod, the quadcast. We're not really sure how to liken it, but it's going to be good.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Sean Smith, Lee Stamper. And then hopefully the week after that is going to be
Mr. Ben Williams. That's my father.
Williams. Yeah.
So that the week after that or the following week. So he'll be on one of those two, possibly both.
Yeah. Who cares?
He might have so much fun that first time.
I know.
Or he might have the opposite of fun and be like, I'm never doing this fucking shit again. That's possible too.
Entirely possible.
Yeah.
So with it being Friday, any new music for either of you this week? Did you do it?
So I actually looked up this time. Usually you're my new music guy. I'm just going to rely on you. But I looked up and nothing was like enticing enough for me to actually listen. So I looked up what was released and just like, said no. I went back and listened to more D'Angelo instead.
Ooh.
I listened through Brown Sugar this morning because I was like, maybe I'll check out some new music. It's Friday. And I was like, nah, let's go to D'Angelo. What'd you do?
I listened to a little bit of Demi Lovato just because I
saw that.
I'm intrigued by a woman that goes through that type of shit.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dude, she's been through a lot. Like she was really sexually assaulted at 15 when she was working for Disney by a cast member.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Like shark-eyed rapists in the fucking Disney Mickey Mouse Club. That's dark as fuck, right?
Yeah. That's not what you expect when you're a 15-year-old Disney.
And then when she had that big overdose back in 2018, get a load of this. So in the interview that I was reading as I was going through this, her fucking drug dealer that OD'd her went ahead and fucking raped her the night that she OD'd.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That's fucking dark, right?
I didn't know that at all.
Dude, mad props.
Didn't need to.
Mad props for Demi Lovato.
Yeah, now I feel like she deserves a listen for her new record. Is it any good?
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Right. And all the songs, like you can tell she wrote fucking all of these songs because predictably or unpredictably enough, like she's dealt with eating disorders. And so some of the songs are about the eating disorder. Some of the songs are about her substance abuse. Some of the songs are about sexual assault. Listen, it's fucking crazy. Like, I do have a lot of respect for her, though. I mean, that's some dark shit, dude.
Is she an actress as well, or is it Selena Gomez that I'm thinking of that's an actress as well, like in movies?
I don't think Demi Lovato's done movies. She's done TV though, right?
Yeah, she's done TV.
Like The Voice, or
there's some. I know she did a while back. She did like a guest spot on Grey's Anatomy one season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like,
there's like some zombie movie. There's some zombie movie with Bill Murray.
Zombieland?
No, not that one.
Is there a different zombie movie with Bill Murray?
Yeah, that came out, and I'm thinking maybe it was Selena Gomez. And I kind of just equate those two for some reason.
Possibly.
Well, they're both kind of Disney prodigies.
Disney products, right?
Yeah.
Demi Lovato just like the model 2.0, and Selena Gomez is like 3.0 or whatnot.
Yeah, it was Selena Gomez. The movie is The Dead Don't Die. It's with Adam Driver and Bill Murray. Pretty funny.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a fucking turd. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's Bill Murray.
I love Bill Murray.
What year was that?
Yeah.
2019. It's fairly new.
Wow, with Adam Driver?
I love Adam Driver. That guy cracks me up in every movie.
Don't even fucking get her started.
He can do no wrong.
Well, what I was going to say is I like him in everything except I'm not crazy passionate about him in Star Wars. I think he's okay. He got better as it went. But
did you watch Wedding Story?
Mm-mm.
Marriage Story.
I'm sorry. Marriage Story, the Netflix movie.
No.
That fucking movie.
That's a gut wrencher.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And he's really good. I mean, he's really good in that movie, but fuck.
He is good in everything. He's not
good in Star Wars. Fuck
he
Star
did
Wars.
exactly what they asked of them.
And
I still hold to any Star Wars movie. There's fabulous actors in all those movies, right? Natalie Portman's in those piece of crap prequels.
Hey, Revenge of the Sith wasn't that bad.
Portman,
No, all three of those movies were pretty terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Revenge of the Sith's okay.
You only have a soft spot for him because you grew up with that shit.
Probably, yeah.
Seriously, like that would have been like your initiation into Star Wars.
But you seriously can't beat Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Amen.
They're making a show.
Yeah, that's a series, right?
Yes.
I'm all in.
Well, it's supposed to be like limited run.
Oh, so it's going to be like
it's like a Mandalorian kind of thing, right?
Well, the Mandalorian's got 2 seasons.
It's encapsulated, I think.
Within one. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Black Klansman. Did you see that one? That was a fantastic movie.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He cracks me up. I think he's hilarious. So if you like him, watch The Dead Don't Die.
That's right, dude. Fucking Adam Driver in Black Klansman is beast in that fucking movie. So is John David Washington, by the way. John David Washington. And that's really who I think about when I think about Black Klansman. But you're right, dude. Adam Driver, he was huge in that.
Yep. He's probably like supporting actor.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I like it. I do, like I said, I mean, listen, that Demi Lovato record, it's bubblegum radio pop with a little bit more of a message because, that girl's
been through some shit.
Yeah, dude, that woman's been through a lot.
That's insane, though.
I got a lot of respect for her. Yeah. I got a lot of respect for her and being able to come back and being able to like make something meaningful out of that.
Yeah, after that kind of harrowing experience. Yeah. Because that is impressive.
That's fucking dark shit.
I'll check it out. I didn't today though. I said no. So I have to admit that.
I did today after I did a little bit of listening there. I did wind up going back to what the fuck did I go back to from? It was from this week. It was not D'Angelo. It was Diana. I went back to Diana. And I also went back to T Swizzle a lot. But I know you did. I don't even want to jump into those waters yet because I can't wait to read Rex Todd's emails.
We know you love T Swizzle.
Oh, but I did not know how much Rex Todd despises Taylor Swift.
Oh, I'm reading through his email right now. There's a lot of spaces.
Yeah, I know. Those are dramatic pauses.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So when you read that, make sure that you read that properly, JB.
Okay.
Because the dramatic pauses are crucial to understanding his real opinion about that album.
Okay. I'm gonna really over dramatize those pauses.
I don't know what else. I haven't listened to any other new music. I listened to a little bit. The Fratellis and Alt Act, they put out a new record today, so I listened to a couple of songs.
I've heard of them.
Of that, but
how about you, Heather? Do you play the new music game? New Music Friday thing?
I don't. I mean, it was Good Friday, so we didn't work. So
yeah.
I was on my own program today.
Nice.
So
did you make it to any record stores? I did.
No, not today. It was on the agenda for this weekend at some point, but we just.
What are you guys gonna do? Are you guys gonna do Triple Z?
We loved going down there. We love hunting through the bargain bin down there. And like you said,
dude, Diana might be hiding in fucking Triple Z right now.
Did either of you go back to get Todd Rundgren?
No.
So he could still be
down
there.
Todd Rundgren could still be fucking hanging out.
I swear to God, he was there. And I just was like,
Todd lurking in the shadows down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we might have to hit that up this weekend.
Yeah.
Bike riding.
They're still open. Yeah.
Well, and they're not open right now, but I picked up some records today.
Yeah, what'd you get?
Some
jams. You told me a couple.
Yeah. So today, down at Marv's, I picked up Tom Petty box set, like a 4 LP Tom Petty box set. That covers the whole 9 yards. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Picked up 2 Marcus King albums, the self-titled as well as Carolina Confessions. Both spectacular records. I picked up Rumors on vinyl.
You didn't have Rumors on vinyl?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
And I probably could have maybe tried to find it used, but man, a lot of the used stuff, because so many people are collecting now, it's almost like, fuck it, I don't care about getting a reissue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I was with that one.
That blows my mind you didn't have that one. That was like maybe one of the first like 10 records I probably bought.
Really?
Probably.
Did you find it used though?
Yeah, I have a used copy.
Yeah, because I mean, you've been picking them up for a long time. Yeah. So you were able to get that on the cheap, which I would have loved. Yeah, which I would have loved to have done, but never did it, so I picked it up.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a good score.
You have it. Have you spun it yet?
No, I haven't spun anything that I bought yet today. I got a couple of other ones too. I knew I should have fucking wrote them down. I never write that shit down though.
That's okay.
I found Mad Season on vinyl, and I didn't buy it because it was fucking $46.
Mad Season by.
Are you familiar?
Mm-mm. Not by the name, at least.
So Mad Season, they only put out one record. It was called Above, and it's a super group that came out, say, 95, 96, and it's Lane Staley with...
I've heard of this.
With Mike McCready.
From Pearl Jam. Yeah.
Maybe some of the best fucking Lane Staley vocals that you could ask for.
Wow.
I mean, it's really, really good.
So when did that come out? That was 95?
95, probably.
When was Dirt? Or...
92.
Okay, so
Dirt
this was a little later.
Yeah, a little bit later than Dirt. It was actually a little bit after Jar of Flies too.
Okay,
because that's what it might be most reminiscent of. Jar of Flies has like that weird mix of kind of moody acoustic stuff with a little bit of like more upbeat electric stuff towards the end of that LP.
Yeah. And
that's a lot of how Mad Season is put together. But clearly, I mean, because Mike McCready really struggled with heroin use in the mid-90s too. Like, so and that's what
Staley, I know.
Yeah. And that's what that record is. Like that record is
it's a heroin record.
Yeah.
I like those. I like every Velvet Underground record. So
and that's all the Velvet Underground record is too, right? Yeah. Just another fucking heroin record. But again, for $46, I couldn't get myself to pull the trigger on it.
I get that.
I really was hunting for, because they did a reissue. So the last Record Store Day drop, they did a vinyl. The only time that they've released, it was a Black Sabbath compilation from 93 or 94 called Nativity in Black. And it has like Biohazard on it, White Zombies on there, Ozzy is on there with Therapy, Al Jorgensen with 1,000 Homo DJs, and they're covering really fucking great Sabbath tunes, right? Wow. Really, really good stuff.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, and they did it on Record Store Day last year, but they sold out of all the Record Store Day copies so quick because they only did like 1,200 pressings of that Record Store Day one, that they redropped it again.
Wow.
Yeah. So I really want to pick that up, because that was a CD that I had in high school that I really, really loved. Just hearing all of the big metal bands from the early to mid 90s cover
Sabbath tunes.
Yeah. All the Sabbath stuff
which is like the beginning of it all. So
yes, really fun, really good stuff. I'm going to find it. And whenever I find it, I'll let you borrow it because it's fucking absolutely worth a listen.
I wonder when we get to our first Sabbath record.
How many Sabbaths do you think?
It's soon.
Is it?
Ooh.
Well,
if it's soon, then we got to have more than one, right?
I think certainly there'll be more than one.
There is more than one.
Okay, good.
And yeah, it is soon. 3:55.
Wow.
Let me look at the discography because I'm trying to decide which ones are going to be on there. I mean, there's obviously
Paranoid's
on
top
there.
100 though, right?
Has to be.
That's the most important metal album ever recorded.
I feel like Self-Titled and Master of Reality are probably on there too. Don't you think?
Master of Reality might be a push for me.
You think so?
Yeah.
I love their Self-Titled though.
I do too.
Yeah.
That one's got Sabbath Bloody Sabbath on it, right?
No.
No.
It's got Black Sabbath, their self-titled tune, which is incredible.
Yeah, that's the super fucking
just
dark.
The origin of doom metal.
Yeah, exactly. You know? That is doom metal.
The Wizard, Behind the Wall of Sleep.
Oh, the Wizard's on that one?
NIB, Evil Woman, which is
Nativity of Black is on there. All right, good.
Right, yeah, okay. Maybe Master of Reality has that one that you were talking about.
I think Master of Reality has
Sabbath Bloody Sabbath is a record.
Oh, so that's the record after Paranoid. That's what I must be thinking of.
Yeah, it comes a few after Paranoid.
A few after Paranoid.
Yeah, Paranoid was their second record.
After the Self-Titled.
Yeah, and then Master of Reality, and then Volume 4.
So is the Self-Titled that's coming up at 3:55?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be fucking fun.
It might even just be Self-Titled and Paranoid.
And Paranoid.
Wouldn't be surprised.
But Paranoid should be top 100.
It must be.
Don't tell us.
Or top 50. No spoilers.
She's literally like spinning.
She knows what it is.
Her fucking spreadsheet of doom. All right.
Doom.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of doom.
Speaking of doom. What do you say? You want to jump in?
Let's do it.
Let's fucking talk about this.
So again, like we recap every time for those unaware, this is a podcast where we talk shit about lists. And the list we're talking shit about today and every week is the big list.
The big
Rolling Stones list of the 500 greatest albums of all time.
According to them, according to their 2020 version.
According to a bunch of idiots.
Fucking
pretty much.
Goons.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
But they do get some things right.
They occasionally,
yeah,
few and far between.
So if you're just picking up with this episode right now, we would highly encourage you to go back because we're a little over a skoosh over 20% of the way through. And
I realized we never, at the end of each group of 25, we did a recap, and we didn't do one for when we hit 400. We forgot to do that.
What?
We didn't do it.
That's not true.
It is true. Yeah, see,
are you kidding me?
Heather's keeping us honest.
I was kind of expecting you guys to then kind of go a little bigger and look at the whole 100.
That's what. Wait a minute, we didn't do that.
We didn't do it. We talked about it. We had too much whiskey, and we didn't do it.
Yeah, you had.
Whiskey. That was 2 weeks ago though. Last week
we probably had whiskey. Oh, that's true. Yeah, but we we probably had whiskey 2 weeks ago too.
I mean, we probably had whiskey 2 weeks ago.
But so we do need to do that at some point. I don't think we should just shun that. We probably should, maybe even today. At the end of the discussion.
At the end of this 5, we'll go back through.
And
that's fair.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Yeah. I'm ready for it too.
I didn't bring my other book, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah. We can pull the list up and look through it.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's jump into this week because this week's good. I'm excited to talk about it.
This week is good. Picking it up at 395. We have D'Angelo and the Vanguard, Black Messiah from 2014. 14 years after Voodoo, D'Angelo built up impossible levels of anticipation for his next move. But Black Messiah was worth the wait. He brought a new political rage to deep soul grooves like the Charade, responding to the Black Lives Matter movement. We wanted, the original.
Oh, the OG. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All we wanted was a chance to talk. Instead, we only got outlined in shock. Damn, that's a good lyric. I didn't even pick up on that one when I was listening to the record.
Dude, he's got a fucking lot of them.
D'Angelo admits and really love, I'm not an easy man to overstand. Yet he meshes beautifully with kindred spirits from Roots drummer Questlove to jazz trumpeter Roy Hargrove. What'd you guys think of Black Messiah?
This fucking record bangs. I put a star next to every record or every song on this record. Every single one of them.
I think I probably did the same thing. I put at least one next to every song. And there's 12 songs.
Yep. I did the same thing.
This record is fantastic for sure. I mean, as you could probably say about every D'Angelo, he kind of has a sound of his own.
But this album is nothing like his other two records.
Yeah, it's definitely an evolution.
I mean, a serious evolution, and he's doing a lot of genre exploration in this album that you don't really get in Voodoo, and you really don't get it on Brown Sugar. But man, I mean, he puts on a lot of different hats on this album.
Agreed. And throughout all this like experimental stuff that he's trying, he still manages to like retain like a classic feeling. You know, it somehow feels like classic soul music, and it has like that retro sensibility to it, even though it's pushing the boundaries of so many different genres.
What did you write on 1000 Deaths, which was the second track on the record?
That was the one with like all the Preacher samples at the beginning and stuff. Yep. That was fun. I think really
that was
cool.
Malcolm X, actually.
Was that Malcolm X?
Do you know who it was?
I don't, but
it sounded a lot like Malcolm X to me, is what it sounded like.
So that song is crazy because like it's almost disconcerting the way it's put together. It's like pure tension the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's what it is so much low end. It's like whatever the bass drum is like, I don't know if they just have the gain cranked up on the bass drum mic or something. It's like that almost dominates your ears the entire time. And that with just the low end, everything, the bass guitar and the bass drums, and it just makes you feel uneasy.
Vocals.
Yeah.
Even his vocals.
He's like super low and kind of gravelly the whole time.
Yeah.
And the whole song kind of goes like that until I made a note at like 4:30, they have this guitar breakthrough.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really great.
There's a badass guitar solo.
Yes.
It takes
really good. Now, was that D'Angelo? Because D'Angelo plays guitar.
He plays guitar a lot. There's another couple guitar players on the album. I don't know if it was him or if it was one of the others.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at too. Because the personnel on this record is
thick.
Fucking dense.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really dense, with a ton of great musicians on this record. But D'Angelo himself is no slouch. He's a spectacular piano player. He's a really, really good guitar player. And of course, the guy can fucking sing for days. But
yeah, what was the record that we did a while ago? And who was it? And it was like, I was like, did you know that D'Angelo played all the keyboards on this record? And you were like, what?
Oh, no.
You know what I'm talking about? And it was like it was like after he had done Brown Sugar, maybe before Voodoo. And I can't remember what the fuck it was. Was it?
Dude, I don't remember, to save my life.
Was it The Roots?
No,
because
that was only Things Fall Apart, and I don't think D'Angelo played keys on Things Fall Apart, because they had the Roots have their own. They have their. I mean, I think they have two different keyboard players. You know,
I'd have to look back through the list, but yeah, he's obviously a very talented musician beyond just being a songwriter. He could be a session guy if he wanted to. You know.
What stood out to you? What was your favorite? I loved 1000 Deaths, by the way. Like I gave a couple of songs on this record 3 stars, and that was one of them, because it was so different, just so fucking unique, man.
I love Sugar Daddy. That's one of my favorites.
I gave that one 3 stars. I really like that.
I gave that one 4.
I love the piano.
Yes.
I fucking love the piano on Sugar Daddy.
I wrote it was a funky little piano beat to just start out the whole tune. Mm-hmm. And I thought you would totally go, because there was this. It was
the horns.
The horns were going, and then as the song like progressed toward the end, it turned into just mouthpiece buzzing. Did you hear that?
No, that's what that sound was.
Yes, it was just they were just buzzing on mouthpieces, which I thought that
makes sense. I was trying to figure out what that was too.
I know, I didn't know.
And they carried it through, and I thought that was just so neat.
I'm not sure which drummer that was, but I wrote it has to be Questlove on that one. Like,
was it though?
I thought so. But there's at least 2 drummers on the record, so I don't know if it was him or not. But it sounded to me like it was him.
Questlove is absolutely on the charade. I don't know if he did more than just the charade.
I thought he did several tunes.
I thought he did several tunes too, though. So Sugar Daddy could have been him.
Yeah, but the drums throughout this whole record are fantastic to me. They all, a lot of them, this is a Questlove thing, but it's like this slacky kind of behind the beat kind of groove where like everything they do is slightly behind the beat, you know, and it just makes it lock in so tight. Like, is it that backbeat feel? And
feels like the meters, right?
Yeah, but like exaggerated.
Loose, yeah, you know? Even more exaggerated. Yeah.
Yep.
But that loose, tight idea.
So yeah, I love Sugar Daddy. I loved Till It's Done. Tutu. So funky on that one.
The beginning of that song was trippy as fuck.
With the like childlike vocals almost.
So crazy. Yeah. I loved Betray My Heart. That was almost like more of a classic throwback to D'Angelo. It felt like to me. But it was also just like, that's like a classic jazz quartet. Like that's what that song was.
Definitely.
Right? It was just a jazz quartet. And I love it.
Do you know who played bass on this?
No, who?
Mr. Pino Palladino.
Oh, sure.
That guy's incredible. He's played with some really, really good people. He played with John Mayer. He's on the John Mayer's Try, which is the live album.
Yep.
I don't know if we do live albums on the list here. We haven't really seen any yet. I don't think, have we?
No, we haven't seen one yet. But
if they have one, though, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, that's not true. James Brown, Sex Machine.
Yeah, but that whole thing wasn't live.
No, it pretended to be an entire live album, but probably only half that album was live.
But yeah, Pino is incredible bass player, and he was a huge part of what made this record great, in my opinion. He's played with The Who. He played with the John Mayer Trio. He played with the 9 Inch Nails. He's played with Jeff Beck, and he's played with D'Angelo.
Damn.
He's a badass.
Yeah, dude, that's an all right resume.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Really love.
I love
the fifth
really
track,
love.
which had that like Latin, like mariachi type, like acoustic guitar on it.
The strings, dude.
It starts with like that girl, and she's speaking Spanish, and you're just hearing Spanish kind of going, and then that Spanish guitar comes in.
Yes.
And it's super powerful. I wrote it was like a dreamlike fade, and then it goes into this groove.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting.
Well, and then it brought horns in too, and it's like fuck. It was DJ Method, but it was doing DJ Method with so many eclectic sounds, right?
Instrumentation,
like eclectic instrumentation and eclectic stylings too, that they just brought them together.
Well, I thought it was really interesting that he brings in, because it's obvious, you know, by calling this album Black Messiah and, you know, talking about Black Lives Matter and everything, then in this track, he's talking about it's Spanish, you know, and it's Spanish based. And so he's trying to include all these groups. It's not just Black lives, but it's like all of these minorities, marginalized populations. And he's like, look, it's happening all over the place.
Everywhere.
And I thought it was a really interesting commentary.
Yeah. Definitely. And another thing that hit me about that song is like, that was probably one of the closest things to a ballad.
Yes.
I'm trying to think, is there any other ballad on this? I don't know. But that was pretty kind of a ballad, at least throughout it kind of picked up at the end. But even being a ballad, it was so fucking funky. And I was just like, even D'Angelo's ballads just groove your face off. You know what I mean?
It felt like that was the best showcase of his voice.
Was it really love?
Yeah.
You think so? Yeah.
I mean, I felt like it. Yeah. It's definitely where it's, I mean, that's one of the few things that I made a note of, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's just a smooth hangout for his voice, right? It was a really easy pocket for his voice to slip into.
Definitely. Did you pick up on the sitar that came up in several tunes?
No.
So it's actually an electric sitar. Because I was like, is that a real sitar that's being played?
Electric sitar?
And it was Pino Palladino, the bass player. He played that too.
Fuck out of here, dude.
He played the electric sitar on like probably 4 or 5 tracks had that.
So I added it to digital because I didn't have this as part of my digital catalog. I wasn't intimately familiar with this album. I don't know that I would call myself intimately familiar with Brown Sugar or with Voodoo either. I had heard both of those records before.
Yeah.
At least once or twice.
I was probably most familiar with this one of any of his records.
Were you?
Just because I remember when this one came out. I was listening to it when it came out. So, which was 2014. So
yeah. I remember when it came out too, only because I had seen him the year before. They had brought him on to Bonnaroo.
Nice.
And he did the Super Jam, which was really fucking cool to watch him play around with a whole bunch of other musicians.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was one of those things that was my first introduction to D'Angelo too, because it was like they brought out, it was a mystery. It was like, oh, we're going to do a super jam, but we're not going to tell you who the super jam is. And so then when D'Angelo came out, people were like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Like, we hadn't seen, because nobody had seen D'Angelo. He hadn't performed in a decade when he played that super jam at Bonnaroo. So people lost their mind. And that's when
and then the next fucking year, he was like, here's Black Messiah.
Here's Black Messiah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I did add it to digital. I would love this one on vinyl. I'd already listened to it before, but it wasn't not in my current digital library since I switched over to Spotify. So I went ahead and added that.
Yep. I did the same.
I think this one can move up, honestly. Like I would move it up to 300 is kind of what I wrote down. And my argument that I've made a lot about why albums are on this list is either impact or content or influence or just pure content. This is one of the ones I think you can make an argument that just the content is good enough that it could be on the list of the 500 best of all time, even if nobody listened to it. Like
I agree.
So
I agree. Between the musicianship and his voice and what he can do vocally, yeah, this belongs on the list. I don't know that I'd move it up 100.
Yeah, I would not have any qualms with that.
I wouldn't
having it being at 300.
I could see it move. I could see it moving up 50. I could see it moving up 50, but I'm also not upset because at least it made it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It made the cut. It's a great record. It made it in the top 400. So I don't know how
that
much
is impressive.
I don't know how much I'm gonna scream and cry about its placement. What about you, Heath? What do you think?
So I was not familiar with D'Angelo going into this
at all.
I had never heard him before. So I don't want to say I was like blown over by this record, but like reading like the time gap that he had between this and his previous album, and he had some other personal struggles in there and stuff. So it was really interesting, but the conclusion I came to was I liked it. I could easily put it on and have it in the background, and it would be a nice kind of groove kind of going. So it makes me very curious going, because he has 2 more albums coming up on the list. They're considerably higher than this one, and they're his 2 earlier ones that you guys have already talked about, Voodoo and Brown Sugar. So it makes me curious. Like I kind of want to listen to those ones, because if they're saying that those 2 are better, I'm interested. I'm definitely drawn in at this point. So
you're in for it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Go to Brown Sugar next is what I would do. That's his first one.
And super traditional.
Yeah.
Brown Sugar is super traditional.
And just that song. That's the opening track on the record too. It's fucking great. I bet you'll recognize it.
Maybe. But it's fun because when you get to Voodoo too, Voodoo is, it's borderline a concept album in a lot of ways. And so when you listen to Voodoo, it makes sense that Black Messiah would be, it'll make sense about what he's doing, right? He's musically really, really intelligent, super informed, and not afraid to go into strange places, which is awesome. So,
yeah. Are those the only 3 he has?
Yeah. He hasn't released any other studio records. Like, that's it.
Nothing else.
Yeah. That's so
Brown
crazy.
Sugar, Voodoo, and Black Messiah.
Just for him to have the name that he has, like, he's like a perfect fucking household name almost. D'Angelo. And
he's a single name.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he only has 3 records.
Next thing you know, he's going to be EGOTN.
The artist formerly known as D'Angelo.
All right. Can we get on to the next one?
Let's do it.
God damn it. I love the next one so much. I can't wait to buy it.
Are you just trying to rush ahead so we can get Taylor Swift? Is that what you're trying to do?
I already own Taylor Swift on vinyl. Okay. 394. Released in 1980. Diana by Diana Ross. Rolling Stone says by 1980, Diana Ross's tenure with the Supremes had ended a decade earlier, and she had spent the 70s basking in the glow of her successful film career and soundtrack hits. But she still wanted to shake things up. Her 10th album, Diana, was a Nile Rodgers-assisted disco jaunt at a time when disco backlash was running rampant, featuring classics like Upside Down and I'm Coming Out. It became her biggest and most acclaimed album to date. I don't know. I probably listened to this record 8 times.
That's awesome, dude.
I fucking love it.
I probably listened 3 or 4 times, and I feel pretty similarly about it. I fucking loved it as well. And a lot of these were first listens. I knew Upside Down and I'm Coming Out, obviously, because everybody knows those.
No, but not everybody knows those.
No? You didn't know those?
Dude, no. And the first time that I heard I'm Coming Out, I'm like, oh, it's Biggie.
Oh, because he did sample that. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. More money, more problems. Like that's fucking I'm Coming Out. And I felt like such a dummy because as soon as it came out, I was like, fuck, I love this song. This is wonderful.
So you didn't know either of those songs at all? Well, then this was definitely a treat for you.
Dude, it was literally, this was a Reese's egg. This was a Reese's egg for my ears.
Dude,
just fucking keep opening it up and keep eating this delicious Reese's egg for my ears.
Upside Down is so funky. What a great song. That's like probably one of my favorite disco tracks, to tell you the truth.
I don't even like calling it a disco track though.
This whole album is disco. There's no getting around that.
It's pretty disco.
And considering it's 1980.
I know.
Like this was
the tail end.
Yeah, this is the tail end. So this could have totally bombed on her.
Yeah, it was kind of
like there could have been a huge backlash against this.
It was a ballsy move.
Yeah, and I think she carries it. Like I think that's what makes this really successful. And
her and Niles.
Yes. Like her and Niall just like smashed this record.
Fucking
like, and it's
smashed.
It's not a long record. I think it's like 39 minutes.
34.
Yeah. It's
so throw it on because
it's a tight 34
yes,
minutes.
There's no part of this that you're ever like, fuck, dude, will this song just end?
Well, no.
I was gonna say, is there one track, Heather?
I have 2 tracks that I wrote. Like,
all right.
So the first one that I was like, oh my God, was Have Fun Again, which is track 5. And I was right.
What?
I think that song is
just like little children.
I just
like
think
it's
fucking
I didn't mind the song. I just thought it was too long, especially after it comes right after I'm Coming Out, which is like 6 minutes long, which is a fabulous song. And I'm like, you're grooving the whole time to that. And then we get into Have Fun Again. And I'm just like, okay, this song's
okay. That's hilarious because if you thought that was too long, then you were probably so pissed off when they have that false ending. Where it fades out and then it comes back. Remember that? You were like, oh, thank God it's over. Oh, fuck.
The classic honey dicking.
Yeah. And then we go into the cheesiest song, My Old Piano, which I'm just like.
That was a bit of a turd.
It's just.
I didn't hate it.
It's just so hokey.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I think I did. I liked it. There's like instrumentally towards the end, there was this little solo trading section where it was like a classical guitar.
I did write that. Yeah. It was really great. That part was really great. I just thought the lyrics of that song just seemed so fake coming out of Diana Ross.
It was kind of nice that it was like different from just like a regular love track where she's obsessing over like a guy, which are a lot of other of her songs.
Were a lot of the other tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was her, punctuating her love of music, but I get it. It was a little cheesy.
I loved Have Fun Again.
I liked that one too.
There's this beautiful line in that song. I fucking wrote it down where she says, try to cuddle with your business. I fucking love that idea though, right? Because like the whole message of the song is, why aren't we having fun just like what we did when we were little kids? Yes. Like we should be embracing life and enjoying life as much as we can. Like love the people that love you type of idea. And I loved that notion as a person that like, you're a business owner. I'm a business owner.
Yeah.
Right. As wonderful of things that my business affords to me, like try cuddling with your business. Like I fucking love that notion. Like I love it. I love it. And I just, I dug it.
And the way I kind of took it was that it's a disco song. It's meant for a disco dance floor.
Because all of these are right. But even like maybe tenderness
for sure. But even like lyrically,
but even tenderness for what it's talking about, which is like, be tender with me because we're going down. It's kind of funky. Do you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
That was a little tiny bit cheesy, but that was tenderness. But that was But talking about what we were talking about before, Have Fun Again.
Yeah.
Just even lyrically though, meant for a dance floor. Like get out on the dance floor and just pretend like your children. Remember to have fun like the little children. So I could see like 1980 in a sweaty disco club singing that at the top of your lungs.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And like the last 2 minutes of that song were just straight fucking just dance your dick off.
Yeah.
Like have a good time, like have fun, dance like your little children. Loved it.
Definitely.
2 songs. I mean, listen, I'm Coming Out and Upside Down. I gave them I put 5 stars next to both those songs. That's how fucking good they are.
Yeah. If you're going to only listen to one, instead do 2 and
instead do 2 and do those 2. And you're going to add them to any song list, like any playlist that isn't I'm depressed and I want to kill myself playlist is going to have both those fucking songs on it.
And I think Upside Down is my favorite off the whole record.
I particularly wrote, how do you not want to dance when you hear this?
I know.
Like it's got such a groove to it. You just want to get going.
Inside out.
Round, round.
Oh. Yes.
So
okay.
good.
I'm in.
That's the best.
So
yeah.
But I'm Coming Out is really fucking great.
That's a great song. Yeah.
Because it's the guitar, like Niall steals Inside Out.
He does.
Right? Because Inside Out, it's all about that changy. Yes.
Niall the Wrist Rogers.
Dude.
Yeah.
Smashing
You heard it here.
Smashing it.
Yes.
Trombone solo on that one too. That was cool.
Fuck yeah.
Gotta love trombone solo.
I love trombone
I'm Coming Out is probably even a little bit more accessible. Like that's one that like every wedding band could play and everyone's gonna enjoy it. You know, it's like super easy to get a crowd dancing. Play I'm Coming Out by Diana Ross.
Yeah. Diana's voice is spectacular in this.
Yes.
The album art makes me think that, Diana Ross recorded this in 1980. She would have been 36 years old because I believe she was born in 1944, which means that she's basically like at the peak of her, I don't know, maybe at the peak of her life. Like she's got the best voice. Like she's unbelievably hot. Like good for Diana Ross.
Her voice is fantastic.
And it always was. Like, I loved the fucking Supremes anthology.
This is way better, though, in my opinion.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Because it's 34 minutes, not 3 fucking hours.
Well,
Thank you.
You get all Diana.
Yes.
It's pure her. And I think there's like this joy in the whole album.
Yeah, because she's just like having fun, doing something a little different than what she's.
Fun. I even wrote that. This is fun, Diana Ross. And
fucking
you
tons
get
of
that
fun.
Purity in her voice in that. And I think that's something really special.
And who doesn't love the musical marriage of Diana Ross and Nile Rodgers?
Yeah. I agree.
And Bernard
Absolutely.
Edwards. Right.
Her voice has like this soft tonality, but at the same time, she still has like a bunch of strength behind it, you know? So I wrote down that I was calling her voice fiercely tender.
Yes. And like, I don't remember what I said because it was on the last notebook, but I think that I said something to the same effect. Like there's a certain tenderness and strength that Diana Ross gets in her voice. And it's, I can't think of anybody else that does it. Although I'll be really curious to see what we come up with next week for the Emancipation of Mimi.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
It will be, because I haven't listened to Mariah Carey in a real fucking hot minute. But Mariah Carey's like one of those voices that I think to myself, all right, powerful, check. Tender, check.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'll be really curious to see like how that juxtaposition ends up falling.
That is interesting.
I think I'm probably going to side with Diana Ross because I do love her shit with the Supremes, but this is top notch.
Well, without Diana Ross, you don't get Mariah Carey.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I would be willing to move this a little bit closer to 350 because I have a weird soft spot in my heart for disco.
Yeah.
I like dancing. And
I wouldn't be against that.
Dance to disco.
Well, I think
that's the whole point.
I think it gets universally panned. But
disco as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because most disco
just the
sucks.
whole genre. But this is done so well, and it's just really tasteful, and I think everyone can grab onto it.
Yeah.
And so, in that respect, I think it's a perfect album for them to pick, and a perfect person performing it.
Without a doubt.
For this list.
I mean, I liked where Chic was at. I liked the placement of that. I think that because Diana Ross's voice is better than either of the women that lead in Chic, I would move this up 20. I'd like it. Yeah, I would like it a little bit more at 375. I added it because this is a weird ad for me to my digital library, but I've already listened to it so many times and I would absolutely go back to it again. But the real gem is going to be me finding this on vinyl. And I think that I can find this at a Triple Z.
Yeah. I think you'll come across. I don't think it'll be a hard find.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I did not add it to digital actually, just because I really want the vinyl and I'd rather listen to it there.
I would too.
Yeah.
Especially at 34 minutes. You flip this fucker over once, you're gonna get Upside Down on the A side.
I think you're
actually
gonna
fuck, dude. You're gonna get both of them.
You're gonna get both of them on the A side,
which is a little bit of a bummer.
That's a fierce A side.
That's a fierce A side, but a little bit of a bummer on the B side. Although for me, the B side holds it together with Have Fun.
Heather hates the B side.
I know Heather fucking desperately hates the B side.
One where I would just play the front side and it'd be like,
and then just toss it back.
Scratch up the B side.
Not scratch it up, but I would definitely just be like, okay, I'm done with this one. Let's put it away.
Yeah.
Who took a key to the B side?
But yeah, my thoughts were definitely one on the list, and I wrote down that I thought it was at a good spot, but I'm also not opposed to moving up a little bit.
Nice.
I wonder how much more disco we have in general.
There's got to be.
Dude, there's plenty of ABBA.
Or Bee Gees.
There's probably going to be a couple Bee Gees, or at least one.
I think there's going to be one Bee Gees, two ABBA.
Yeah,
I think there's going to be at least a couple of ABBA.
What's the ABBA record with Dancing Queen? What's the name of it? It's actually fantastic. I've listened to the whole thing.
Weren't they some of the folks that were just like
1, 2, 3 or whatever? Yeah, it could be
like number album shit.
Well, wow. Okay.
Don't tell us, Heather.
Yeah, no, don't spoil us.
It might even be self-titled. Hold on, I gotta find out now that I've been stringing it along here.
Fucking Dancing Queen.
Man, I don't know.
Dancing Queen is a good song.
But ABBA was super prolific. I mean, they put out a bunch of albums, so I would not be surprised.
Okay, it's Arrival. Arrival is certainly on the list.
Arrival or a rival?
Arrival.
Okay.
ARIVAL.
Like we made it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
That has Dancing Queen on it. The whole album is really good, to tell you the truth.
You know what? Can we take just a couple of minutes? Because I was reminded about this because of the next one coming up.
Rex?
Do you want to take a few minutes and just go through Rex's thoughts on the first couple of albums? And then maybe read his thoughts on
T Swift before we go into it? Or
what
we're going to say?
Well, no, I think that makes sense. I'm going to take a break while you're recapping some of that stuff, so that way I can alleviate some issues.
Yeah.
This is so terrible because now this is the second week in a row.
You've set a precedent now, dude.
No, I'm gonna end this precedent right now. But let's go to Rex.
Is it getting in your head now? You're like, I can't avoid it. Yeah. Okay. So here's Rex. Black Messiah. His thoughts on that. This is not the expected D'Angelo sound. Oh, whoops. Sorry, Rex. This is not the expected D'Angelo sound I was expecting, and I'm in love with this record. Album starts out with a couple of sips of the P-Funk syrup that I dig so much. Yep. And that funky syrup is endless throughout it all. This is an album that has something to state. The charade started out kind of murky, but cleared up and became a jam in no time, with a great transition to Sugar Daddy. There's only a song or two on here that didn't immediately grab my ear. This whole album is incredible, and I love music that shatters expectations and stereotypical sounds of an artist. Add this album immediately. Yeah, so he pretty much agrees with us on that one for sure. We are in agreement. Diana Ross, here's what Rex has to say on that. Fucking Spotify had me worried that I had to listen to 2.5 hours of Diana Ross again. Thankfully, I did not. Disco again. Thank God it's not like that goddamn Chic album. Yeah, he didn't like that one.
Yeah.
Then I get to the Have Fun track, and now I'm reminded of people blown out of the gourds on cocaine and dancing to this shit again. It's not a bad album. It's always great to hear her voice. Nice bass line work with the band. Unnecessary piano work at times. This album should be closer to 500, though. That's what he says about Diana.
Wow.
I want it closer to 375, Rexy.
I think Rex just isn't a disco guy.
He fucking hates
he's definitely not a disco guy.
He fucking hates it.
Not his thing.
It just doesn't make him dance.
It's not his jam.
Yeah.
It's not his jam.
Okay. Rex's thoughts on Taylor Swift? Should we do it? Dramatic pauses. Get ready, people. T-Swizzle. Fine. I'll take one for the team. I hate this fucking list. I'm sitting here tapping my fingers on my head, trying to not throw my mouse and keyboard against the fucking wall. ... The fourth track is just mocking me, asking, "Are we out of the woods?" And I fucking wish I was. That's funny, Rex. Because yes, in my wildest dreams, I fucking wish this album was over. How angsty can a 25-year-old be about love? These songs feel like they were written in study hall. This album is making time not just slow down, but stop altogether. I hate my life. I hate this list. I hate you guys. Just kidding about that last part. You read that last part wrong. You read that other part wrong too. That's it. So yeah, I don't know if he was very clear about his opinions on that or not.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, let's talk Rolling Stones.
Thanks, Rex.
I love you, buddy.
Okay, so
you were on 3-5.
I'm the third. Yeah, this is me. You guys were waiting for that. Okay. T-Swift, 1989, 2014. Swift set out to make blatant pop music on 1989 and came up with a love letter to the Pet Shop Boys and Eurythmics. All glossy synths, icy snares, and the manic rush of Blank Space and Bad Blood. She ends the album with the electro chill of Clean, one of her starkest, grandest romantic exorcisms, comparing love's memory to a wine-stained dress I can't wear anymore, and unspooling images of drowning and surviving that can bring to mind another 80s hero, Kate Bush.
I love this record so much.
Yeah?
Yeah. Every song.
Every song.
Yeah.
Interesting.
To me, there's not a bad record on this song. What was the worst song on this record for you?
The worst song on this one?
Yeah. Give me your worst.
It might, and I didn't hate it, just to be clear. I'm trying to think about what song was my least favorite. Maybe This Love. That's the 11th track. Yeah, I wrote down pretty low impact ballad, weakest track so far, in my opinion. Or I wrote weakest track so far. ... At that time. But
did it get weaker for you?
I think it got better from there, in my opinion.
Well, there were only 2 more. So.
Yeah, and they were both better. But yeah. That was probably my least favorite. How about you? What was just coming from someone who likes every song? What would you say is your weakest track?
I think that I think I agree with you, actually. Either This Love or I Know Places.
And see, mine is marked I Know Places.
Yeah.
It was just so obviously a song about paparazzi and her avoiding, her trying to find a safe space and just get away from it all. And I just thought it was a little too overtly transparent. Just in general, like how she writes, she's usually really good at veiling what she's talking about.
Yeah.
In a fun way. And that one was just more kind of blatantly, leave me the F alone. And I was just like, I could do without that.
I get that, but I loved the chorus on that one so much that it was okay with me.
The hook on that fucking...
She writes some hooks.
She does.
And it's hooks for days.
Yeah.
I mean, every song on this record is just hook after hook after hook. And so that song, I Know Places, like the hook gets me on that one too. This Love, it just doesn't really have that, because This Love is way more of just kind of like what you were saying, right? It was like a subdued kind of ballady type feel, but
yeah. I liked I Know Places. I actually gave it 2 stars, to be honest. So
yeah. And I mean, I even gave, listen, I put a star next to This Love because it wasn't, it's pretty deep in the album. It's not one of my favorite songs on this album, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Like, her voice and a guitar will do it. It'll do it for me, and the fact that she wrote all of this, that says something, and I loved Diana Ross.
Yeah.
Diana Ross wrote 0.
Zero?
She wrote nothing.
Wow.
That entire album was written by Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards.
Yeah.
That's it. Lyrics, music, everything. They brought Diana Ross in because they were like, honey, we want your voice. This is going to sound really good. Just do this. And they were exactly right.
What we say.
Well, the story I heard was that she heard them at studio. She heard their music at Studio 54.
And she was like, fuck, I got to do a record with these guys.
I got to get together with these guys. This will be fun.
Okay. I'm in for that.
Yes.
I like that she did that.
I like that too. But at the same time, come the fuck on. Taylor Swift has got to be one of the most prolific singer-songwriters of the past 10 to 15 years.
Not really that.
I mean, she's up there with Jason Isbell in my mind.
Like Rex,
just in terms of how much she's fucking written.
Yeah.
And Rex points out that she's only 25. Or right when
not
she
now,
writes this. When she wrote this, when this comes out, correct. She's 25. So how angsty can a 25-year-old be about love? Jesus,
pretty fucking angsty, I would say.
She's got a ton to say.
Yeah, she does.
She's really good at it.
Maybe Rex's argument is that even if she has a ton to say, maybe it's not actually coming from real experience, or it's naive or whatever.
No, but that's to me what I love so much about this record is she's old enough to understand enough to start to really do things that she couldn't do on Red. Right. Because I think she's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe she's 18 when she does Red.
Sure. And
it might even be a little bit earlier than that. But I mean, listen, there are tracks on this record where Taylor Swift is just sexy.
Style.
Yes,
I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah.
Fucking style, man. What she does with her voice in there, I'm just like,
is it the chorus or the verse?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both of them, right? Because in the verses where she's talking about late night,
like, pick me up, no headlights,
right? But then on the chorus, like she comes in with that chorus, and it's just that James Dean look in his eyes. I got that red lip classic thing that you like. Come on. And she does this crazy, like the way that she uses her voice. Fuck, I'm in.
Yeah, her voice is big on that one.
Yeah, really, really big. And there were points.
At 25, when she does this, she has the wherewithal to be like, well, I was born in 1989. I am going to make this whole album
feel like 1989.
And that's just so...
It's genius. It's
really pretty retro-y.
It's retro. Yeah. And she's 25 being like, hey, you guys, this is super cool. And I'm going to do a whole album around it.
Yeah.
And it's just so unique.
And you get that from the very first track.
Absolutely.
The synth line on Welcome to New York.
Yeah, like ding, 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 ding.
Like otherwise, that's like a modern electro pop type of song. But then that synth line gives it like that mid 80s, synthy pop kind of vibe.
So Welcome to New York. It's funny because there are so many songs, and I've listened to this album a lot. Like I've listened to this album so much, but that's one of my least favorite songs on the record. And I don't know why. I think the only reason why I don't like it is because lyrically, that song feels like an amateurishly written song. Meaning, did Taylor Swift at some point in time in her life like move to New York and she was like, wow, New York is really cool and it's really amazing? Or
it sounds just like Miley Cyrus's song about going to LA.
Right? Party in the USA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does sound like that. And not to take anything away from Miley Cyrus, because obviously, like, I have a very special place in my heart for both Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus. Mm-hmm. I think they're both supremely talented, really, really wonderful.
That might be a poll.
Dude. Midnight Sky. Actually, no, you couldn't put Midnight Sky versus.
You'd have to do an earlier one.
You'd almost have to do it like you'd almost have to pick songs, I would say.
Why don't we do Welcome to New York versus Party in the USA?
Oh, really? Do you even think that's do you think that's a matchup?
Well, no, we should pick one of the other ones off this record. Like
we should
either Bad Blood or something like that, or Shake It Off.
Or versus Party in the USA. What the fuck would you put against Party in the USA? Shake It Off, maybe?
Probably Shake It Off.
I think Shake It Off.
Shake It Off or Bad Blood. Bad Blood's fucking dope, dude.
But I think it has a different, as we're Party in the USA, I mean, the title kind of says it all. Like they're, party. As we're Shake It Off is a fun song.
It is.
And she's saying like,
fuck it off. Like, let's do this.
Just do it.
Let's just have a good time.
I think it's either Shake It Off or Bad Blood. But I think either one would be a good option.
Listen, let's circle back around to that. Because how about Blank Space, right? I got a blank space, baby.
I'll write your name.
I love that snick that she does. Like, it's so fucking smart and it's so good. And how many people make fun of themselves in such a really, really unique and funny, clever way, right?
Yeah, she's cool. It's cool that she can like steer into the negative press that she was getting at that time.
And she's acknowledging it and she's going head on into it.
She's
like, fine.
Yeah, she's like, fuck off. Fine. You're right.
Fuck you guys.
I do date a bunch of dudes.
25.
Right?
That's what you're supposed to do.
Right?
It's like, that's what everybody else is doing, except for I'm just a famous pop star.
Yeah, except for I'm famous. And so now you're going to fucking give me grief about it.
Yeah.
Fuck off. I got a blank space. Come on.
I still cannot hear this song without hearing the bad lyric.
Oh, wait. What?
Okay, have you not heard about this?
No, what's the bad lyric?
The star-crossed lovers.
Yeah.
And a lot of people hear that as Starbucks lovers.
That's what it is. Is it not Starbucks?
It's star-crossed.
I thought it was Starbucks. I swear to God. It sounds just like
about.
I thought it was like a play on star-crossed lovers, and she changed it to Starbucks.
It's star-crossed.
It sounds just like fucking Starbucks. I swear to God.
It's so hard not to hear that.
Like, there's no way she's not saying Starbucks.
No, it's star-crossed.
I've always heard her say star-crossed.
Star-crossed love.
Yeah, because I think of like Romeo and Juliet.
And and I always took that as a nod to her.
Yeah.
What her original, like that early song that she did.
Romeo and Juliet. She just re-released that from Relentless or whatever.
So I always took that as it was kind of that line was
it was a wink and a nod.
Song.
Yeah, exactly. But, Romeo and Juliet, the star-crossed lovers.
This song was just being blasted on the radio, when it came off.
People thought that it was
Starbucks.
I honestly thought that's what it was. Well, because I thought it was like a I know what star-crossed lover, I thought it was a play on that. I thought she was like making a joke.
Well, and it works on both levels.
It does.
Super unique.
I think it's more clever if it was Starbucks. I think it's a joke.
No, but I do like the allusion back to what's that? They just re-released that song. I think it's called Fairy Tale. Is it called Fairy Tale Story? So that whole album, Relentless. That's the first album that she's completely.
Fairy Tale Story.
She completely re-recorded it, right? Because there's some jerk off that owns the rights to all of her music,
right?
And she tried to buy it back from him. He won't fucking sell it to him, or he won't sell it back to her. And so she's basically like, okay, fuck you, because I own the rights to the songs. You own the rights to those recordings. So fuck you. I'm gonna re-record every album that I've ever made.
Taylor Swift did that?
Yeah.
She's in the process of doing it right now.
I didn't know anything about that. That's cool.
Basically, that was her
fuck you
project.
Yeah.
And that was her like, great, we're all locked down. Okay. I got time on my hands.
And she still managed to write 2 records.
Right.
And dude, she's been trying to buy the rights to her own music now for years.
Well, if I was that guy, I wouldn't fucking sell them to her. I'd be like, fuck you. Nope.
Fair enough. Listen,
right.
I get his viewpoint. Her music is gonna continue to play for ages and ages and ages at this point.
And remember
but at the same time, I love her being like, you know what? Yeah, sure. You can have that shit. I'm gonna re-record all of it. I'm gonna tell all of my fans that, yeah, you can listen to that bullshit if you want to, or you can listen to my stuff.
But to be honest,
that
the radios are probably still going to keep spinning the OG versions. I feel like.
Will they though?
I don't know, because remember the rabbit hole we went down that one day, and it was like where artists make the music, make the money,
and
it's from the licensing of these songs.
That's
and
right.
How they get used.
And from
it's
touring.
not. It is not from touring.
It's
we
not
went
from
down
touring.
this gigantic rabbit hole one day.
It's how you can commercially apply
the music. And it's who owns those licensing rights. And
that's right.
That's where she is losing out. That's why she is doing this, because she wants to own.
She wants to own her shit.
She can probably barely afford her apartment.
I love the fact that she's re-recording it though. And so right now on the radio, if you hear Fairy Tale Story, it's Taylor's version.
And it's super smart how, like, you were showing me, like, she's re-releasing it and then she's putting in parentheses Taylor's version.
Yeah. So if you look up Relentless by Taylor Swift, you'll see the original recording, which is still called Relentless, but then there's another recording by Taylor's
version.
And it's Taylor's version.
So these are already released?
The first one.
Fairy Tale Story is
like
dropped,
April,
and the album is getting ready to come out within the next week or two.
Like, is it next Friday?
Yeah.
Which one has our song on it?
Is that? Well, fuck. Is that the name? I thought it was called. I thought
it was Fairy Tale.
I thought it's called Fairy Tale Story. That one that she's released out there right now. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm just wondering which album of hers has our song, because that's always going to be. That's my fucking favorite Taylor Swift song. You know that song? No. Our song is a slamming screen door, sneaking out late, tapping on your window. That's some OG T Swift there.
That's super.
That's back when she was country. That's another thing to point out about this record, is that it kind of cemented her transition from country.
Yes. Yeah, no, this was her first pop album, right?
The last one maybe was kind of poppy. It was pretty poppy, the last one, but it was still elements of country, and it was still played. Yeah, that was Red.
Did Red come out before this one?
Red is 2 years before this one.
And that was still, even Red was, even though it was heavy on the pop side, because it had a lot of pop tunes on it.
I would say it's a crossover.
Because it was still played on.
Yes.
It was still played on like country radio.
Yes.
But there are definitely, like, I'm looking it up right now. There are some.
Fearless. I'm sorry, not Relentless.
Fearless.
It's called Fearless. Yeah. And
but that had like, I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
I love that song.
And we are never, ever getting back together.
So
that's some pretty poppy shit, but that's still considered country or whatever.
That's considered country?
Just the album.
Really?
I think the album is country to country folk. And it's pop to pop folk, but I think it's a blend. It's a crossover.
Yeah, I think it is.
And this one is the first true pop one.
This is just straight up.
And this is why I think this one has so many like top 40 smashes on it. Because they wanted to be like, she's not country.
She's not country.
She's whatever she wants to be.
That's right. And right now she's willing to be.
And we're gonna drop all these, and you are gonna love all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so next Friday is when Taylor's version of Fearless comes out.
Okay.
And it's a love story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our song is a slam screen door. You need to listen to that song, Mike. You're going to love it.
I can't wait. But I can wait for her to release it.
You don't want to listen to the old version. You want to listen to Taylor version.
Yeah, fuck that guy that owns the rights to all of her old music. And I get what you're saying. I wouldn't sell them either, because I would be that.
If you have
asshole.
a winning poker hand, you're not going to fold it. You know,
I got a lottery ticket. Yeah, I'm not going to give away my lottery ticket, but at the same time, I am Team Taylor. Like,
absolutely.
I will download and only play Taylor's versions because I really, really, really do love this.
And from a really young age, she has made it known that she wants artists, singer-songwriters to be respected. And I think that's a really important point that a lot of up and coming musicians need to pay attention to. It's like, you know, we know you're hungry and you want to get in, but don't give it away.
Yeah. Listen, everybody wants to make money, you know, and if your talent is recording, making, writing music, you got to be successful.
Yeah.
Right. You got to be successful, but at what cost? And I'm happy to see a real, like, I view her as a real artist. And again, not to take anything away from Diana Ross, but Diana Ross is a performer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she didn't write the tunes.
She's a performer, and she's a spectacular performer. One that I'll listen to. I'm buying. But I will always put singer-songwriters, and I will call them artists. I won't call them performers. And Taylor Swift is an artist. Okay, so Wildest Dreams, Shake It Off, Style. Those are my 3-star songs. Fucking bad.
You don't have a 3-star Bad Blood?
Bad Blood should be 3 stars. I only put 2 next to it. And I only put 2 next to Blank Space too, but fuck that. I could put 3 stars next to Blank Space.
With Bad Blood, like
this album,
I like Bad Blood just fine, but regardless of how I feel about it, it's undoubtedly like an instant classic song. Sing along. It's already
don't fix bullet hole.
Yeah, but I mean, even just like now we got Bad Blood. It's like already cemented itself in music history. Just that, no doubt about it. Whether you like her or not,
My favorite, honestly, though, so Style is definitely, and I actually put 4 stars next to Style because Style is definitely my favorite song on this record. Her voice, it's like, I don't know. Like Taylor Swift is sexy to begin with, but when she does what she does with her voice on Style, like that's whatever. Like that's bonus points for me. But Wildest Dreams, she does something very, very similar on Wildest Dreams where she just creates this. It's like a longing that comes into her voice on Wildest Dreams.
I wrote it's ethereal.
Yes.
And the lyrics of that song are so visual.
Yes.
Red lips and rosy red cheeks. And I can picture her, I can picture her like what she's trying to lay out in the words.
It's beautiful.
It's really great.
It's so beautiful.
It's just so on point.
I love it. What do you think about the placement of this? Are you cool with where it's at? Do you want to see it give some more love? Or do you want to drop it?
You're going to hate me. I'd probably drop it. Yeah.
Where do you drop it to?
450.
Okay. I actually don't hate you for that.
Maybe lower. But
I don't hate you for that.
Yeah. How about you, Heather?
I absolutely move it up.
How high?
Yeah, how high
you going?
I think it has to be, and see, like this is coming from me where I know she has 2 more albums coming up.
2 more albums?
What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Don't tell us which ones they are.
I'm not gonna tell you, but I'm pretty sure.
She has 2 more though? Jesus.
Hang
on. I would have thought this was the only one.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
I can see one other.
She does have 1 more.
One other?
1 more, not 2 more. She's 1 more, and it's considerably higher. And of the 2, I'm not saying that this one is better, but I think this one needs to move up to be closer to that one because I think it's I'm going to say this one
so
good.
Yeah, I'm going to say this one is better. I'm fairly certain that I know what the other one is, but I'm going to say this one's better because there's a maturity with her songwriting in this one that I don't think is existent in the other one. So even if you argue that the other one, her performance is captured better, or maybe she does more adventurous stuff either with the guitar or with her vocals, songwriting maturity with this one, I think, should give it the edge. Because even though Rex says she's only 25, how much love angst can you have? I would argue that at 25, that's when you're
in the deepest.
Yeah, that's literally when you're in the biggest waves when it comes to your emotional life and your inability to control the emotions of your life at those ages. So I would move it up too. I don't know that I would move it up a ton. I don't put this north of 300, but if you told me that this came in at 325, I would actually applaud that because I think that this is really, really genius pop music writing from an artist. And I put a lot of value on the whole artist thing. So
I might eat my words here, but I don't think I will. And so I did not expect there to be another one, but now they say there's another one. I'm pretty sure I know which one it will be, but and maybe I'll change my mind when we get to this one, but I think that there's no fucking way in hell that I think that there needs to be 2 Taylor Swift albums on this list. I think I'm so far from that.
Rex,
to tell you the truth.
Rex is finally agreeing with you.
Well,
wholeheartedly.
But I mean, I'm okay with one in the low end of the list, but for me, greatest albums of all time, 2 Taylor Swifts. No.
That's
so, like I said, maybe I'll eat my words when we get to that album and I really dive into it and analyze it.
But I think it does beg the argument of if you're not going to have 2 Taylors, that I'm fine. I'm fine with that. If it balances out why you could take some of these people that have multiple albums, 6, 7, 8, whatever, and some of theirs get lined out. And we pull some of the people that we've snubs that we've talked about, already that you guys have brought up.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty significant. There's some pretty significant ones that we even haven't talked about yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some big
and
glaring.
I'm all for, hey, if someone's got 5, 6 and we can take them off, if someone has 2 and we can take them off and get someone else in, yeah.
I agree. But especially with everything that Taylor Swift has written, I'm actually okay with her having 2. And everything that you've said, I think is fair, right? I will admit that I do have a ridiculous soft spot for Taylor Swift, and in particular, like her pop music. This is the best of all those adventures. But listen, Red's the other album, right? Red's the other album on the list, and when we get to Red, I might be able to make an argument that I'd rather see Reputation.
And I was just gonna say. Reputation,
because I love Reputation,
and it's very good.
But it's definitely not on this list because it is just I don't know. We're gonna get to a point in time in our lives where I will probably always love that album, but there's gonna get to a point where it's like that album feels really dated and it just doesn't translate.
Which one?
Into the future?
Reputation.
Yeah. But so much on Taylor. Let's move on.
All right.
Okay, 392. A compilation released in 1991. This one is going to be Ike and Tina Turner, Proud Mary, the best of Ike and Tina. Rolling Stone says these hits set introduced the world to Tina Turner back when she was the raw R&B belter from Nutbush, Tennessee, starring in her husband Ike's band. The world didn't yet know the private hell Tina was living through or that she had moved on to solo stardom, but Tina's grit and Ike's guitar combined from the start in duets like I Idolize You. Her triumph is Proud Mary, seizing the already classic Creedence song and turning it into her own soul testimony. What do you guys think about this? I mean, first of all, it's a best of.
We don't like best ofs.
No, not really.
But
if this is the way you get Tina Turner,
as I was going to say, if this is the way you get Ike and Tina.
Fuck off, though. This is not the way that you get.
No, there's
going to
be some later Tina for sure, but this is probably the way we get. This is probably the way that we get Ike and Tina, though.
For the fucking love of God, the way that you just looked at me, is this the only fucking Tina Turner on this cocksucking list?
I'm pretty sure.
Duke this out. This is a familial issue.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
No spoilers, Heather.
Fuck that, dude. I want
spoilers. Yeah. This is the only way you get Tina Turner on this list.
What the fuck, dude?
And I think it's because
that
surprises me. I would have thought that there was some of Tina's later
Private Dancer.
Private Dancer, yeah.
Fuck it. How the fuck is Private Dancer not on this goddamn list?
Yeah, that's befuddling.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, she's not here.
Fuck you, Rolling Stone. That's fucking crazy.
Have we considered that maybe this list isn't very good?
I mean, seriously though, dude, because Private Dancer has What's Love Got to Do with it on it.
Yep.
What's love?
And granted, listen, I will admit that song means so much to me because that was the song that introduced me to Tina Turner.
Absolutely.
Right.
Like everyone in our generation, that's how we knew.
How we knew Tina Turner. Yeah. She was like, oh, that's that woman that finally got away from that dude that was beating the fucking shit out of her.
Yeah.
Good for her. All of this I loved. I really did. I did not understand that from basically the very first song that Tina Turner ever recorded, she was a fucking maniac in a beautiful way. Right?
What do you mean?
that woman, like the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. First 7 songs.
Right.
I didn't put a star next to because you could put stars next to all of them. They're all the same song.
I was just going to say, yes.
They're all the same song. It's doo-wop.
Yep.
But it's doo-wop with a woman that howls.
Absolutely.
She howls like this. I don't even know what, like an orgasm driven banshee. I don't know what, I don't even know how you would describe it, but she just has so much fucking emotion built up in her that the only way that it can come out is in this primal fucking scream.
Yeah, she lets it out too. She belts it.
Such
energy there for sure.
It's crazy.
I do bet the reason I was going off on a little tangent here, I'd bet you get Tina Turner one other way, which is, and I could be wrong about this, but she sings on Frank Zappa's Overnight Sensation album. And I would not be surprised if that one's on there. I'm hoping so. Little side note. But she's on several tunes on that.
So we just established that Private Dancer's not on the list, but JB's holding out for fucking Overnight Sensation.
It's way better than Private Dancer. Boom.
But we already know that Hot Rats is not on the list.
That's on our snub list. Yeah.
Yep. But Overnight Sensation is going to make it.
I think it could. Yeah, that has some of the big popular tunes for sure. Hot Rats is not as accessible, I wouldn't think.
Fuck that. I like this record. I like this record a lot. My favorite part of this record were the covers.
Absolutely.
Like Proud Mary.
Like Proud Mary, like Come Together, like Honky Tonk Woman. Fucking Honky Tonk Woman. Absolutely smashed.
Acid Queen is also a cover.
Acid Queen's a cover, and that one's good.
That's a Who cover, right? Yeah, that's off of Tommy.
Yes.
Yeah, but Proud Mary. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they really made their own with that one. Super fun way that they kind of do the slow down thing and then the mad speed up at the end, you know. I like the back half of this album, I feel like, a lot more than the front half.
It's definitely more, I think, the Tina Turner that we know. Like she comes to the forefront a lot more in the back half of this album. Like, cause like Mike's saying, like in the first 7, it's definitely doo-wop.
Yeah.
And it feels like she's trying to assert her place and like, I want to be different. I want to stand out. I've got this screamy kind of powerful voice to me. Maybe it's a little, and I don't know the psychology of Tina Turner, but maybe it's like she knows she's maybe not beautiful, like, because Diana Ross is striking,
right,
as a standout in front of the Supremes.
Tina's not the same,
and Tina's not that. She's not that woman.
Yeah,
but she has this voice, and she's gonna like project it, and that's what I felt like the first 7 songs were doing. It was like her being like, I can be here.
Yeah,
I can do this. But I'm going to do it the Tina way.
Like she has something to prove a little bit, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we break into those covers, the cover section of that album. And it's like, yeah, like this is funky and she can rock it.
She really can. She's a great front person for a band. But yeah, I mean, the album, it got funkier as you got later. I don't know if there was any time like division, like if it got earlier to her later stuff, to the later stuff as it went through the album or not. But
I think it's set up kind of chronologically.
Okay, that makes sense because that's how it felt, at least to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, just the back half of this, there's so many tunes that I loved. Like Sexy Ida Part 1 was super fun.
Yes.
Sister of a Black Widow Spider. That was dope. Loved that. Sweet Rhode Island Red was a good tune.
Nutbush
City Limits. The fucking clav on Nutbush City Limits was so good.
River Deep Mountain High.
Do
you know who fucking wrote that song?
Which one?
Well, no,
because there were a couple writers.
It was written for Ike and Tina. I don't know who wrote it, but
Phil Spector wrote it.
No,
it was one of 3 writers for it.
Yes, technically it was. I think
was that the original though? I don't think he had writing credits on the original. I
think the original, it was the two guys that were writing for their label in Detroit.
I think.
And then Phil glommed onto it because they recorded that. The recording that's on this album
is not Phil Spector.
Is the original recording of River Deep.
Right. It doesn't have the Wall of Sound version.
And correct. Phil Spector
because of some licensing issue or something.
Well, Phil Spector hears it and then is like, dude, I can make this a smash.
He's like, yeah, I can fuck this song up too, just like I do all my other songs.
But did you listen to those? Have you listened to those two recordings?
Not like back. No, not
okay.
At all.
I did.
I did. And this recording is not. It's not terrible, but this is the original recording on this album.
What do you think?
They could not get the Phil Spector version because when this album was released in 1991, Phil Spector refused to allow it in this compilation.
Fucking prick.
I think this recording is great of this song. However, I really think the Phil Spector version does a huge justice to Tina Turner.
Oh, wow.
And I know fuck Phil Spector. He is a garbage human being. I fully acknowledge that. However, his version of this song with Tina Turner is fucking spectacular.
Yeah.
He makes her fucking sound great.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
I'll have to listen.
But I don't hate this.
No, I don't
hate this at all.
I don't hate this, but when I heard this, I was like, man, this doesn't sound like the version of this song that I know. Like Tina wasn't cutting through the way that I remember her voice cutting through. And then I listened to the Phil Spector version. I was like, oh my God, this is the Tina that I remember.
Yeah.
On the song.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a
weird
shame.
too.
It's a shame that they're linked like that. But unfortunately, they are.
It's also so strange too, because typically when fucking Spector did all of his shit, it made it muddier and more fucked up. You know, like if you listen to Let It Be, like I'd much rather hear Let It Be naked, where it's just the Fab Four rather than all that bullshit on top of it. But I understand where you're coming from.
She cuts
with
through.
River Deep Mountain High.
She really cuts through in his version.
Yeah.
Her voice just really shines.
It's mixed
in a way that you don't hear it shine before in this whole compilation.
It's definitely mixed with Phil in a way that you get all of that fullness from the Wall of Sound. But he really jammed her vocals up so that she's not buried in his shit.
You do not lose her at all.
So you just get
there the whole time.
I feel like there's just a little bit more of a fullness to the Phil Spector version, which I don't like Phil Spector, but I don't hate his version of this song.
His wall totally complemented her power.
Yeah.
The raw power of her voice.
That's incredibly fair. So I mean, listen, there's no bet to make, because the bet that I would have made was that Private Dancer was at least 200 to 300. Like I legitimately would have believed that, because there's no way that this is the only way that you put Tina Turner on this list.
I'd say,
but now
the Private Dancer snub episode will be in our future.
Yeah. I mean, it really should be, because that's a fucking fantastic album.
Yeah.
And it's really representational, especially of her later in her career. But now that we know that this is the only Tina Turner that we're going to get, and fuck Ike Turner, by the way, like, I mean, whatever, just fuck off.
Not an Ike Turner fan? I mean, musically, just purely from the, like,
I'm definitely not like a wife beating Ike Tina Turner fan.
I get that. Yeah. Like, but I just mean, in terms of his musical contribution to the record.
Well, what is his musical contribution? So he's a bass
player. He wrote a lot.
He wrote a lot of this.
And he played guitar.
Right? No, he played guitar.
Yeah.
Okay.
The guitar's fine. Nothing about the guitar on any of these songs is really blowing my mind, to tell you the truth.
Because this is jazz guitar, right?
Right.
Yeah. Or
he's chinking out some, like, he's just kind of dropping some chords here and there. He's playing a rhythm guitar.
But he's playing a rhythm guitar, exactly right.
He's playing a rhythm guitar, and he's writing.
But he did write a lot of these songs. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which is why Tina Turner is singing about how much she loves her man,
right?
And how much like she idolizes him, and how much she's gonna do whatever he says.
You should treat me right.
You should treat me right.
There's literally a song called "I'm Yours. Use me any way you wanna."
That's right.
And that was written by Ike.
She wrote that. Yeah, exactly.
Written by Ike.
Right.
And yeah, like
fuck Ike, dude. I mean, I'm sorry, but fuck Ike.
And the song "Up in Here," which is later in the album.
Up in here.
What
is this DMX? What
was with Ike's vocals in that?
It was so weird.
Is that the fucking
up in here? That's what I was just doing there. I was doing the up in here.
I'm so sorry. You didn't go low enough.
I didn't go low enough.
You just didn't even go low enough.
The first thing that came into my mind when I heard that was Ike was drunk and hungover the day that Tina recorded in the album. So they had to bring Ike in after the fact and layer his shit over.
Well, it just sounds so out of place.
It does.
It's fucking loud, dude.
It's so loud.
It's so loud. What that told me was that he was like, God, like other people sitting in the room were like, Ike, this is so fucking good. Your woman is unbelievable. And then Ike was like,
fuck that. I gotta be louder.
Bitch.
Turn that shit up, dog.
It's so loud that it sounds like if you're like listening on headphones and like someone walks up to you and opens like it says up in here, like right in your ear while you're listening to it.
The first time I heard it, I thought it was a mistake. I was like, Jesus, this has to be wrong.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And I was like, what in the hell is going on here?
It's fucking bad, dude.
It was very blatant. Like Ike needed to be heard on that track.
I wrote LMAO. What in the holy fuck? Ike is a total monster when he comes in. LMAO, fuck you. This must be a joke. That's what I wrote.
It sounds like a joke.
Yeah.
Terrible. I hate that this is the only Tina Turner that we got on this list. I hate the positioning of it because this is not the album that I would pick. I wouldn't include Ike at all, even though I know why they did it. They did it because River Deep Mountain High. They did it because of Proud Mary. They did it. I understand, but I wouldn't. I would celebrate Tina Turner with Private Dancer, and I'd probably put Private Dancer 50 to 75 higher than this. I did not add this, and I'm not.
So you wouldn't take it off the list, is what you're saying?
Well, I think he's saying he would sub
I'm saying that I would completely take this off the list and sub it for a later Tina Turner record. Because I want to celebrate Tina Turner. I don't want to celebrate Ike. And
I do find it
I wish that we could do it in a way.
I do find it very interesting that they placed this at 392, very close to Diana Ross, who these women are contemporaries of sorts.
Big time.
And
not of sorts, they are.
And I wonder if that's why they put
just
this
to juxtaposition it,
right? Because they're very different women of the same time. And
Tina Turner is a fucking wild version of Diana Ross.
That's right. And without putting this album in to represent Tina Turner, you don't really see that there's the soft, beautiful cover version in Diana Ross in the Supremes, which was further down on the list. And then we get the funky, fun version of Diana right next to this hard, rough Tina Turner.
She's fucking unpolished for sure. She's so raw.
She's an uncut diamond.
Yeah,
right?
She's so raw.
It's raw and it's just very different for the same time period. But the fact
I kind of like where you're going with
that. But the fact that they give us this compilation, because you can see her evolve through the course of this album.
That's what I liked about that.
Yes, and I truly do. And I think you see this evolution of Tina Turner. It's just unfortunate that we don't see the Tina Turner post Ike.
I do think I kind of feel the same way because I think that the Private Dancer one should be on here, but I'm not against this one being on here at all. And I think it's an important snapshot of Tina Turner's career, who's just she's considered the queen of fucking rock and roll. I mean, that's like her nickname, you know? So it just seems crazy to not have more than one album on the greatest albums of all time. So, yep. What?
Lee Stamper, like a half hour ago, he sends me like 10 different text messages. He goes, "Hey, Mike, hope the podcast is going well.
All separate messages.
Yeah.
Lee Stamper.
Onlylee.com. Be sure to go and check it out.
Yep.
Okay. Where do you stand? Because you haven't said. What do you think?
Well, I did just say I think I would leave it on, but I would probably drop it down. But contingent on me agreeing to leave it on, I do think Private Answers should be on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But I did not add it to digital. Wouldn't be opposed to having a vinyl copy of this, just because it's got Proud Mary. I mean,
I think I would rather have some of those earlier recordings, though. Like, I don't necessarily want a best of. Does that make sense?
You'd rather just have an album.
Yeah, like if I could find like a 12-inch single of like River Deep
Proud
Mountain
Mary,
High or Proud Mary or something like that, like I would do that. I don't know. I do got beef with Ike. Fuck Ike.
Yeah, wife beaters aren't cool.
Speaking of fucking, should we finish this up?
Let's do it. The last album of the evening is Kaleidoscope from 1999. I hate you so much right now. Khalees blasted on her debut single Caught Out There, giving spurned lovers around the world an instant anthem. It sets the tone for a knockout R&B debut. Kaleidoscope was also a showcase moment for the Neptunes, Pharrell and Chad Hugo, who helmed the album's production, backing Khalees with a barrage of splatting keyboards and thwacking drums and giving the album a taut consistency. Yet the singer was so charismatic, she might not have needed them. I hate you so much right now, again, doesn't lose any force a cappella.
Thanks, Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Does that help you or does that hinder you?
In making my decision with this record, you mean?
Yeah. Because I mean, they're telling us right here that they didn't put this on here because they thought Khalees was really special.
Well, I don't know. That's kind of what they are saying, isn't it? They're saying
no,
not at all. I mean, they say it right there. Kaleidoscope was also a showcase moment for the Neptunes.
Yeah, but then at the end they say, but she was so charismatic, she might not have even needed them. I hate you so much right now. Doesn't lose any force a cappella.
So if she doesn't have them, is this album on the list?
Fuck no.
No.
I don't think with them.
I don't think
the album belongs on the list. I'm going to say it right off the bat.
Amen.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything special. Impact, influence.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say
this album.
In fact, I'm like so far from this album being on the list. This one is mind boggling to me. I don't know how this was selected.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I'll say that there were a couple tracks I thought were not terrible. And I mean, I didn't hate any of it really, except for I do think that the I hate you so much right now. I just found that annoying, to tell you the truth. She sounds like the craziest of like crazy girlfriends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, listen, the hook was cool. So I put a star next to it.
I thought it was cool the first time. I listened to it the second time and I was like, it's annoying. She's like, I hate you so much right now. And then she just goes, ah. And I'm like, I just want to skip this fucking track. It's just grinding my eardrums.
Did you enjoy Ghetto Children?
I did.
I thought it was okay.
It was okay.
Good message.
I thought it was a nice message.
Yeah.
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 I liked, what was the one I liked? Shit. Mars. I thought that was kind of cool.
Did you notice Slick Rick has writing credits on Ghetto Children? I thought that was fucking dope, dude. Slick Rick representing. I like Suspended. I like Ghetto Children, and I like Caught Out There. And the rest of this album, every fucking song I commented, man, that's a cool beat.
Yeah, agreed. The production was pretty cool, and it seems to like it doesn't feel like it's from 1999, in my opinion.
They felt newer, more
contemporary. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
That's weird.
Yeah, but I think that's the Neptunes.
It felt totally
no, it's absolutely the Neptunes.
Really?
And here's the thing. So it's like the song Mafia, which is like the fourth or fifth track or something like that.
5.
It has that touch tone of the 90s, early aughts, where it's like every dude had a mixing board and I'm going to lay down some sick beats. And there's always this one vocal cue. And in that song in Mafia, it was some dude going,
oh, for fuck's sake.
Dude, were.
And once my brain cues in on it,
you can't let it go. Yeah, I
and
did the same thing with that.
Mafia song, I really liked. I liked the lyrics. I thought they were super neat. And I thought she was doing really great. She has like a little rap in the beginning, which I thought she had a nice flow. Mm-hmm. But
was that her or was that another vocalist?
I think
that was Marquita.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Any of the rapping that you heard was Marquita. Okay, everything else was Khalees.
And that's, again, I wrote like there's a lot of collaborative tracks on this album. And so, but that fucking like and that's not the only track in this album that does that.
No, I agree with you.
There's a couple songs that just have like a weird background vocal that's barely there. Like you talked about Suspended. Mm-hmm. Like, what is going on in that fucking song, dude? There's like a guy in the background and he keeps going, wake up, bitch, wake up. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did
was
notice
she dead?
it.
What's happening in that?
So what I focused in, and I think the reason why I like that song is that her voice, Khalees on that, it was very Etta James to me. And I love Etta James.
She kind of reminded me, on that song I wrote Erykah Badu, kind of similar.
Listen, I'll take that too, right? Yeah. Like I'm never gonna turn away Erykah Badu. Like I like that vibe. And I think that's why that song was attractive to me. It was a vibe of the song, not necessarily the song itself. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I think this whole album is kind of like that. Because there are so many, like, I thought Roller Rink, that song almost to the end, I thought that was super fun. Song, it was just like escape your thoughts. Maybe that's my thing because like I used to love to go to the roller rink.
Well, it's funny, dude. I'm right there with you. I'm right there.
I thought that was super fun. But then when we get to the last track, and after like the third time I listened to it,
hated that last track.
I fucking loved it.
Did you really?
I thought it was because after I listened to it like the third or fourth time, I was like, oh, she really sounds like Mariah Carey here.
It was like a super cheeseball, like breakup R&B tune.
But then when I started to think about it and I go back, a lot of the tracks that I liked, you're right. She starts to sound like other people. And then I'm starting to wonder, well, is it her that I like? Or is it this production like the other team? People is it this production team that I'm liking because they're putting this package together?
I think it is too.
Yeah. The Roller Rink kind of dates it because that was one thought I was having a lot was like, oh, wow, this feels kind of modern, more modern to me than 1999. And then you get to the Roller Rink song, you're like, oh, nope. Yeah.
That's funny because wouldn't you agree? Like literally everything that you were talking about there, like kind of like a basic bitch breakup track is really what it was.
Yeah, I really hated that one.
My comments were yes, in every way. I would agree with you. Fuck this. Fuck it. Fuck it all. Like I don't want any part of this album. I don't want it on this list. I hate the idea that they included a female artist on this list when I think what they were really celebrating were the men that wrote all of this music.
Yeah.
And
you're saying it's like almost insulting. Like if they're going to include a female, they should do one where, the female.
Well, it's like a token female inclusion.
It's not even like genuine. It's not even that, right? All of these, Khalees only has writing credits on 2 songs. Every fucking song on here was written by Pharrell. And I love Pharrell. I get it.
But why not just put one of his albums
that's
recently released on this list? And
that's right.
If we're really trying to include Pharrell and his influence, why not just put him on the list?
Yeah, or figure out, fucking put him on a different list.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone has literally made a list for every fucking thing, including best producers of all time.
Right.
Yeah.
Put them on that list. Don't fucking put Khalees on here and be like, well, this list, we're being more inclusive. Like we want to include more Black women on this list. That's fine.
There's plenty of good options.
Let's do some that are, let's do some different ones that are artists.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because realistically, and we're going to talk about this after we take a little break in the bonus episode, 391 is a beautiful place for Dreamboat Annie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, it's a perfect fucking place for Dreamboat Annie. And Dreamboat Annie was, what was that again? Oh yeah. The entire fucking album was written by Ann and Nancy Wilson.
Yeah.
And those women recorded that album in 1975 when exactly zero fucking women were making rock albums, and not just rock albums, great rock albums.
Yeah, it's good.
Fuck you, Rolling Stone.
Did you read about Khalees at all? Like, she's actually kind of interesting. She's done some interesting things. She so after she recorded this album, she like recorded one more, and then she just took a break from music and went to the Cordon Bleu school, like the chef school.
What?
She's truly.
She went to Culinary Academy.
She went to the Fame School.
Yeah.
The New York Performing Arts Academy.
Yeah, she went to that at high school.
That's where she went to high school. She's a truly talented.
And then she's like, fuck all this music. I'm gonna go to culinary school, and she went to the Cordon Bleu, which is like probably the best one. And then she came back and made another album, and now she just like lives on a farm with her husband. She got arrested at one point for she from what I can tell, she was at a nightclub and she discovered that there was this ring of undercover prostitutes. They were cops that were posing as prostitutes to like sting. It's like a sting operation, and she like basically figured them out.
Trying to out them.
And she was outing them. She was like screaming racial slurs at them, though. So she got arrested on that pretext, But I think basically the situation was she just figured out that it was a sting operation and she was making it known, and they arrested her for that.
So she's
respect.
Like, don't pay these hoes.
Exactly. So exactly like you said, respect. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I mean, seriously, right? Like trying to protect some Johns. Good on you, Khalees. And fucking listen, good on you for going to a culinary academy. Good on you for being a spectacular singer, because I don't have any issue with her as a vocalist. Like, she's super, super talented, but
I don't even hate that I listen to this album, but being on this list, I'm so far away from that.
Yeah, it doesn't make it on this list for me. And I feel like there's so many more records that deserve to be right here.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Right here. So,
okay. Should we preview next week? Do our recap that we talked about doing?
Yes. So
we don't forget about that.
Yeah. So let's preview next week, and then let's do a quick recap. And everybody, whenever we get done with this episode, stick around, because we're going to be doing a quad pod for the bonus tonight. Because Heather's going to stick around for the bonus show where we're going to talk about Dreamboat Annie by Heart, one of our snubs. But we're also going to bring on April Leonard, who also mentioned Dreamboat Annie as a snub. So it's going to be a great big giant Dreamboat Annie circle jerk, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. In terms of our listener snub list, though, Dreamboat Annie is the only one so far to have two recommendations. So
2 noms.
So speaking of that, if you have any other, we are compiling a list of listener snubs. So please send us albums if you're comfortable looking ahead at the list that you think are snubs. Send us those to thislistsucks@gmail.com. Check us out at anchor.fm/thislistsucks, something like that.
Yep.
Follow us on YouTube.
All the above.
Yeah.
Any way that you can communicate with us, go ahead and get us your snubs if you think that there's an album out there that they've left off and it is atrocious.
Yep.
So next week, friend of the show Riley is going to be joining us, and on that show next week, before we get into our 400 recap, starting off next week, super excited, from the 1988 release, coming in at number 390. It's going to be Surfer Rosa by the Pixies.
389 is The Emancipation of Mimi by Mariah Carey.
Are you excited about The Emancipation of Mimi?
I'm pretty indifferent about it, tell you the truth.
I actually really like Mariah Carey, so I have no experience with that album.
Good. Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to be emancipated.
Yeah.
388 from 1972, Young, Gifted, and Black by Aretha Franklin. Fucking excited about that, too.
That's going to be cool. I'm excited about that one for sure. 387, I'm excited about this one as well, is Radiohead in Rainbows. We might have another special guest call in for that one to join us.
Yeah, it might be like a semi-quad
That's
pod.
right.
Lastly, next week, we're going to be talking about a fucking banger, 386. If you haven't done it yet, do it before the show. Jay Dilla's Donuts. It's a fucking jam.
That's right.
Absolute jam. And then, of course, the week after that, we are going to have the big quad pod with Sean Smith and with Lee Stamper. So stick around.
Looking forward to that one.
Absolutely. But now, before we take off for the evening, let's go back because we never did a final recap
of the bottom 25.
Of the bottom 25.
Of the bottom 100.
Yeah. So 425. We never picked out and kind of earmarked our favorites from that one, but we did earmark our favorites for like the first 400, right?
No. So we did a recap. We did a recap once we hit 425, and we did the first 75.
Okay.
But we neglected to do it with the first 400. So, and with each group of 25, we've done our favorite of each group of 5, if you remember that. So
yep.
What's your favorite 425 through 421? Easy one, right? Maybe not.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm flipping through them all because in theory, yeah, this is pretty easy for me. Yeah. It's Paul Simon.
Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking. Paul Simon for sure.
Yeah. And it's sad because that's the fucking very bottom one.
I mean, it's got Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye, and it's got a.
Do you got a close second?
Probably Beck. Actually, as much as I love Marvin Gaye,
my close second. Actually, I'm gonna.
Wait, are you just doing 425 through 420 like that? Just that group of 5? Or are you doing?
No, I was going.
You were going all the way.
425 through 400.
Okay, so then my answer is going to change. Yeah.
Okay, then let's change your answer because 425 through 400.
Just all the way through.
Favorite?
My favorite one. My favorite might remain the same. Just give me 1 second to kind of decide that. Looking through.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we both got there because we had a massive circle jerk over this album.
Yeah, 69 love songs.
Fuck off.
I think my favorite, it's going to be Grateful Dead, Working Man's Dead.
Yeah.
And honestly, my second favorite of the top is probably going to be Fela Kuti or Paul Simon. It's a hard one there.
I love Fela Kuti because I really do. But for me, it's going to go Working Man's Dead out of 400 through 425. Paul Simon is a really close second there for me, though.
Yeah, big time.
And I love the Dead. I particularly love Working Man's Dead. Yeah, right up there with American Beauty, like all those. But that fucking Paul Simon record, because I didn't have any exposure to it, was a revelation for me.
Yep,
absolute revelation for me. So, do we owe them anything else?
I don't think so. Unless you want to do. I was just thinking, like, unless you want to do favorite of the top of the bottom 100, which that's maybe we need more time.
No, I mean, I can
feel prepared to do it right now.
Yeah, I could do it.
Okay, go for it. We might have the same. It might even be the same answer as well as our favorite for that one.
We're definitely not going to be the same on this.
Okay, what's yours?
My favorite for the first 100 easily is Sound of Silver by LCD Sound System, which was ranked 437, I think.
Shit, man. I'm looking through.
I'm pretty sure.
It was 433.
433. Yeah. For me. And listen, I've got so much.
I'm surprised it's not
I've got so much like personal stuff wrapped up with someone great, with all my friends. Like there's so much packed into Sound of Silver for me.
Your favorite,
would
that be one that you move up like considerably, or is it just your favorite because it's like that's the one I loved of that group the most?
I have so much emotional attachment to that record, particularly because of my friend Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I hear someone great, I think about Charlie. Every time I hear all my friends, I think about Charlie. Like there's just that record. That record is a personal
touchstone. And it means a lot.
That record is an emotional That record is an emotional landmine for me that it's never going to leave my musical landscape for the rest of my life.
I respect that for sure.
And I love Working Man's Dead. Listen, there's a ton that I fucking love in here.
Sure.
But that record is it's tattooed onto my soul.
Well, and at least it's on the list.
Yeah, listen, absolutely. And LCD Sound System is one of those bands that when we started this project, like when we first started talking about it, if you would have asked me, hey, do you think LCD Sound System would have a record on this list? I'd be like, no, probably not. And so just the fact that they picked this record at this spot, I'm okay with it.
Sure.
I'm okay with it. And I know that I'm biased.
Sure.
You know, I'm biased by my own emotions.
All right, JD.
For me, I've been looking through and I think the answer for me is definitely Man's Dead.
Yeah.
Close second could be Close to the Edge. Yes.
Ooh, I love that actually.
Yeah.
I love that.
But I feel like I would just be lying if I said anything other than Working Man's Dead. So that's what I'm going with.
And I love it. Love it.
Do you have one, Heather?
Yeah. Do you have one of the top 100? Because you haven't listened to all these albums, correct?
To all of these.
Yeah.
And when you guys first started, my goal was like, if I could listen to one at least of the 5 that you were doing that week, I was doing good. And then as we've progressed, I've progressed to, I've done 2, I've done 3, I've done 4, I've done 5, you know, so I've built myself up.
Yeah.
But definitely I thought the Paul Simon album was
respect,
just
girl,
for fucking, it was phenomenal. And I'm the person where like the Paul Simon that I'm familiar with is the Graceland Paul Simon. And I have to say, like, I'm pretty sure that's pretty high up on the list.
Probably top 100.
But I didn't love it, you know, being a contemporary at that time. Like, I didn't love that. But hearing this album,
it's so real, right?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, he is so fucking good.
He's a genius, hands down.
He is that album, when I listened to that week, because I listened to a couple others that week, that album, I dug into other albums of his.
By Paul Simon.
And I normally don't do that.
Yeah.
And so that of these.
It's a special record.
It was very, very good.
Special record.
Yes.
I agree with you. All right. Well, listen, with that being said, stick around for the bonus episode if you'd like. We're gonna take a little break. We got to do some different setup things for YouTube and for everybody else. So be patient with us while we get together for Dreamboat Annie with April. And then of course, please join us next Friday again.
Mr. Riley Rath joining us.
Yeah, a friend of the show, Riley Rath, is gonna be with us. And so thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. It sucks.
Bye-bye.
Good show, homie. Good show.